What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a showcase video for version 2 JINBE, who was the most recent released legend on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. We do know that Capone is fastly approaching. He'll be here within the next day or two, as of me recording this video right now. And we also have confirmation that Legend Zephyr is already added into the character log of One Piece Treasure Cruise Global, so expect that to arrive probably about a week after the Capone Sugo Fest. So lots of legends are going to be releasing. So before, those legends are coming out, I want to have a showcase video for JINBE, because I did recently pull him from the treasure map reward tickets. So blessed to absolutely pull this character. This character is very interesting and he is very strong. However, when you ask a player on the Japanese version of Treasure Cruise what they think about V2 JINBE, everyone pretty much has like the same sort of consensus about this character. Like, yeah, he's pretty solid, but why would you use him? He's a bit of a weird unit. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. We're going to first of all discuss the character, and we're also going to be getting into 5 separate clips that I have for you guys today, showcasing V2 JINBE and why he is so good. So here we have version 2 JINBE, who is a Dex powerhouse fighter character. His captain effect will state that if you have a strength, a Dex, and a Psi character on your crew, he will boost those 3 colors, strength, Dex, and Psi, by 4 times, approximately 4 times, when you have a matching orb. And then if you do not have a matching orb, it is only a 3 times attack boost. Straight off the bat, that's already very, very solid. 3 times unconditional is awesome, but then when you do have a matching orb, it's great because you get up to about a 4 times boost. It pretty much is a 4 times boost. And then he also grants a 1.35 times health boost as well. That's extremely high. You will run through dungeons with, close to 50,000, maybe even above 50,000 health at times when you're running double JINBE team. So it's pretty awesome. But then on top of this, to make his captain effect even better, he will also treat your crew's Dex, recovery, and tandem orbs as matching, which is so freaking good. Enabling 3 out of the 7 natural orbs is beneficial, enabling you to get more matching orbs naturally, which will ultimately give you more chances of getting a 4 times attack boost for your characters. So all in all, the captain effect is extremely good when comparing to some of the others that we have in the game right now. So let's get into the special ability, which maxes at 12 turns. He will reduce all enemies' health by 20%, and the 3 colors that he boosts for his captain effect, he will give them a 1.75 times type boost for those characters when you activate the special as well, which is so freaking good. It continuously adds to the character and why he's awesome. But then he also has a secondary effect that states that when you activate the special ability, and if you have a strength, Dex, Quick, Psi, Int, and Recovery Orb on your crew, specifically one of every colored orb and a Recovery Orb when you activate the special, he will be a 2.25 times type booster to Strength, Dex, and Quick. And also all matching orbs, all the orbs that you are given, being all the type orbs and the Recovery Orb, which is already beneficial with the captain effect, all of those orbs will be counted as beneficial for a turn. So that's one of the things why people don't like to use this character that much, is because, yes, he is a type booster for his own crew, which is wicked, but in order to get that 2.25 boost, you have to run very specific characters in order to do so, because you are never ever going to be getting all of those orbs plus the recovery orb just naturally when you're playing a dungeon. That just does not happen. So you need to bring characters dedicated to provide that to your crew if you do opt to get the 2.25 times attack boost. You guys will be seeing in this particular video, I might have done it for 1, I don't remember exactly, but I know I didn't use it all the time, but most of the time the 1.75 times attack boost is more than enough to get the job done, because you got to look at the facts where, he is also a 20% health cutter. That is going to help out significantly when you are doing your major burst turns, and there are lots of good characters that are strength, Dex, and Psi that can go ahead and enable you to get even more boosts to enable you to take out the boss. So I think JINBE is a pretty well-rounded character. I don't like the fact that you do have to have the specific orbs for the mass attack boost, but it's not a needed thing. You're still getting a 20% health cut, which is so goddamn good. In terms of his crewmate abilities, he will also boost the base attack and health of the 3 colors he boosts by 75, and he'll also make all characters' type slots have matching slot effects. So when he is a sub, all colored orbs are matching for him, which is pretty freaking cool. And before we get into all of the clips, let's talk about his potential abilities. His first one is quick damage reduction up to 7%. His secondary one is int damage reduction up to 7%. And his last one is slot bind resistance up to 10 turns. This is one of the bad things about Jinbei in my opinion. I do not like his potential abilities at all. The fact that he has 2 damage reduction abilities on a character like this, in my opinion, is extremely bad. It would have been way better if he had recovery bind resistance or just anything else. You know, I'd be fine with him having 1 damage reduction ability, but the fact that he has 2, not a big fan of that. And also the fact that he has slot bind resistance, but he only resisted by 10 turns. If he completely got rid of it, that would have been also very, very good, considering he is a character that does rely on getting matching orbs in order for you to get your high attack boost. So those are just minor gripes about the character himself, but it's just the thing that a lot of people opt to just use different characters because they're much easier to build teams with. This guy, you know, surprisingly, he was kind of tricky to build teams for, especially for the training forest. That was kind of annoying to build a team for, but, you know, most of the time, you know, there are, you know, some characters that you can always kind of go to. Treasure Map Big Mom is one that comes to mind because Treasure Map Big Mom is just such a useful unit to have, and she is going to definitely be showcased in this video as well. But anyways, that's it for the breakdown of the character. Let's actually get to the example teams and the dungeons that I've used him against for the showcase video. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get straight into the showcase. So as I said before, there are 5 different clips that I have for you guys in this video today. The first one you guys are seeing here is against not the original Clash Garp. I think that is a bit too easy for Jinbei. This is the Neo Clash Garp, and when this guy first released, he was actually pretty difficult. A lot of people struggled to try and build teams for this because it was obviously global first, so makes a lot of sense. But yeah, this specific dungeon requires you to bring only fighters, slashers, and shooters, I believe. So that's what I've done in this specific team here, where it is mainly fighter based, utilizing actually the dual unit Garp and Sengoku, because during the fight you actually get given an attack boost from the Helmeppo. So I used the dual unit Garp and Sengoku to remove that. And then I basically am only using the Jinbeis for the health cut. That's the only real reason why we actually use the Jinbei specials in this particular dungeon, and because whenever you do damage towards Neo Garp, he changes color. So with the 2 health cuts, he actually becomes a quick unit, which makes this particular fight much, much easier. I actually forgot that he changed colors. I had to look back at my old videos as to what Neo Garp actually did, but this team absolutely destroyed it with color affinity, attack boost, orb boost, and 220% health cutters. Very, very easy. You actually see here that because of the Heracles special, we are able to get the full board of matching orbs that way, which works very, very well. But that's it for Neo Clash Garp, and the next clip that I have for you guys is actually against another raid boss. I was trying to get some clips together for this specific video, and there weren't really too many pieces of content that was out that was semi-challenging that I could show you guys in a showcase video. So as of me recording the video, the most difficult raid boss that I saw that was out right now, like in the rookie quests or the quests that are like always available for powerhouse fighters, shooters, etc. Clash Raid Lucci was the most difficult one in my opinion. Before Raid Lucci, I'd say, you know, maybe like Raid Sanji and Raid Fujitora, which are available in the powerhouse dungeons. They're also pretty difficult as well. But you know, Clash Lucci I think was actually a pretty good one to test this team out for. Obviously with this specific team, we've got Shirahoshi to come and help us out, because whenever you do any orb manipulation on this fight, Lucci basically screws you over. So having access to Shirahoshi is obviously very useful. And also, you know, another character that's going to be so useful for the V2 Jinbei teams if you have him is Legend Garp. Legend Garp is so freaking sick because he provides a 30% health cut, and if you're already using your Jinbeis, that's a lot of extra health cuts as well. And you know, Garp providing the 3x chain lock is just immensely useful. Getting rid of special bind. Garp is one of the best subs in the game, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about the man himself, the captain, version 2 Jinbei. When you do have those matching orbs, man, Jinbei goes in with that damage output, and like you can see the health that we have there. That's a pretty sizable amount of health considering you know, the characters that we're bringing. Very, very strong. Now we're moving on to the Colosseum. So I showed you guys 2 clips of 2 different raid bosses, and now we have 2 separate Colosseums. Now unfortunately, once again, there weren't really too many difficult Colosseums as of me recording this video that were out. One was obviously Tamago, but I didn't really, you know, think that this was going to be a good clip to put in because this specific Colosseum was made to be beaten by Jinbei himself. But I decided to throw it in anyways. Unfortunately for me, I do not have the rare recruit Praline, and she is so good for this because she removes 5 turns of damage threshold, and I needed another character to remove that. So unfortunately for me, I did have to put in a character that is not boosted on this team, which is Bobbin. But Bobbin does come through providing the turns of reduction for the damage threshold removal. But the other characters that are available from version 2 Jinbe's batch are obviously on this team. We've got Waratsume, who isn't really going to be used that often, but he actually partners really well with Aladdin, because the way Aladdin works is that if your friend captain's orb is a dex orb, I think it's a recovery or tandem as well, then you get the 3 turns of 1.75 orb boost, and Waratsume provides your left column orbs to become matching. So those 2 characters, when you use their specials in tandem, work extremely well for your team, and that's what I do on the final stage as well. And then obviously well, probably the most desirable character in my opinion is Hachan. Hachan is so good, providing a self-proccing 1.75 times conditional boost, as well as providing lots of hits of damage and also really good orb manipulation. I think that Hachan is one of the better rare recruits in the entire game, in my personal opinion. And then another character as well that is on the batch, there's actually a lot of rare recruits in Jinbe's batch, was Kami, and Kami is also pretty solid as well. But the only reason why Kami would ever be like extremely useful is that if you were able to rainbow her, because Kami has the double special activation, where with her normal special she only removes 2 turns of a lot of different debuffs, whereas, you know, if you do have the double special activation, it becomes 4 turns, which is so insanely useful. So, you know, if you ever get lots of copies of Kami, that's really great to try and rainbow out her double special activation potential ability. And as I said as well, it would have been so nice to have Praline instead of having to use a character like Bobbin, but you gotta, you know, work with what you got, basically. So this is the team I've used against the Tamago Colosseum, and now we're moving on to another Colosseum clip, which is going to be against Sicilian. I think Sicilian was like probably the second most difficult Colosseum that was out as of me recording this video today. And although it is not really that difficult nowadays, there are lots of characters that can enable you to beat this very, very easy. There's not really too many debuffs that you actually have to get around in this dungeon, which makes it very, very easy to beat. So we are using a character such as Niji here. Now, I was looking through characters that provided the chain lock but didn't do damage to the enemy, because originally I wanted to bring a character like Legend Garp, but because he does damage against the final boss against Sicilian, you can't bring him, because you do not want to use a damaging special against Sicilian, which means I can't use my Jinbe specials against Sicilian because it provides a health cut. So I had to provide alternative methods of damage boosting in order for me to take on this specific Colosseum, and that's why I'm using a character such as Niji to provide a chain lock, because your captain has to be a Dex or a Int character, and obviously Jinbe provides that. He also provides the other boost of him being a powerhouse, so you get the turns of attack up and enrage, I think, reduction on the enemy. Also Big Mom. Big Mom is just so good. I use her in the Training Forest clip that you guys will be seeing as well after this, and I had to provide a character that changed the G orbs into matching, because I wanted to make sure I had those matching orbs, of course, and I decided to use Sugar. I was eventually going to use Hachan, but then I realized that Hachan actually is a damaging special, so couldn't use Hachan instead of Sugar, but Sugar did provide the goods of changing the G orbs into matching orbs, and she was also a boosted unit, and then obviously Corazon's on this team as well to provide some paralysis reduction. So Jinbe has a very vast majority of characters in the game that he can use. Like 3 of the colors in the game he has access to, and you are not restricted by any specific class, which is very nice actually. So there are so many characters that you can just have in your arsenal to help you beat content. And here we go with the final clip of the video, which is going to be against the Blackbeard Forest. This actually took me a couple tries to beat, because it was kind of annoying trying to figure out how I could get through the Luffy and Ace stage on stage 18, and then also stage 19 was quite a struggle to get through as well, because if you do not kill Shiryu in 2 turns, basically all your crew gets blown away. So that was quite a struggle, but everything else in between was actually very easy, and the first time I did make it to the final boss stage, I was able to beat it. So this team was actually extremely solid. So if you guys are out there and you have V2 Jinbe and you are trying to find a team that can beat it, the Blackbeard Forest specifically, this team does the job very, very well. Man, I really like V2 Jinbe, man. I want to love this character so much. I think that more people should be using a character like this, because just looking at his kit and what he has access to and the characters that you can use and what he can do, I feel like this character should be used a lot more often than what he actually is at this current point in time. But as I said at the start of the video, you know, it comes down to the fact that people don't want to go ahead and dedicate a lot of time and resources to use a character like JINBE, where you can chuck characters onto a V2 Akainu team, hit 6 perfects, and you can just beat content like that much easier. Or you can use Whitebeard and Marco, where you don't really have to think a lot of the time, as like, you can just stall for as long as you want, and you get lots of health cuts, you get healing, and I understand that. Gear 4, you can chuck anyone on the team specifically, so I understand that as well. But I mean, if you have V2 JINBE, I would definitely recommend try and use him as much as possible, because he's a very fun unit to use, and I think that a lot more people should be opting to use a character like this. I hope he's boosted in the next treasure map. I'm not too sure if that is 100% confirmed yet. I hope he is, because that's going to be awesome to see him boosted once again, because I would love to just keep using this character because he's just so much goddamn fun. So even if it did come down to like a hypothetical situation where you did need to stall out like an enemy debuff or your own debuff or an enemy barrier or something, and you did need to stall that out, look at JINBE's health with the Whitebeard ship. That's nearly 60,000 health. That's pretty freaking cool. You could just go ahead and sit there, wait for it to dissipate, and then you could go ahead and activate all of your specials. And that's one of the great things about JINBE. He's just so tanky, and especially because you can use characters such as Legend Shirahoshi, one of the best, or probably the best healer in the entire game, and Rainbow Orbs, if you guys didn't know, are considered as matching orbs. So that means that JINBE, as a captain with Rainbow Orbs, will grant your crew that 4 times attack boost instead of the natural 3 times attack boost. Shirahoshi is a god tier sub for the V2 JINBE team. So if you do have Shirahoshi as well, that's going to make your JINBE teams even more powerful than what they already are. And what I was saying before, when you look at JINBE's special ability, he provides that health cut, he provides that type boost. And even though, getting the 2.25 times attack boost is very situational or very difficult to do or really annoying to do because you have to bring dedicated characters for that specific effect, you don't always have to have the 2.25 times attack boost. Like literally in every single team I've uploaded in this specific showcase video, I don't think I've ever had the 2.25 times attack boost. The 1.75 attack boost is more than enough in a lot of cases. Obviously 2.25 is going to give you more numbers, but that's not always a requirement, so it's just something to think about. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to go for it. The 1.75 attack boost with the health cut is already so freaking good. It's just an added bonus if you do somehow get that situation with all of those orbs, and that's not going to happen naturally. Like that's literally like a 1 in whatever number chance. The chance of it happening is extremely low walking into a boss room with those specific orbs, unless the boss gives you those specific orbs like what they did on the treasure map. But I mean, it's just all the different topics, about V2 JINBE and why he's so good. But, not a lot of people are going to be using him from here on out. It's just, while he was out, he's boosted for the treasure map, he's the high point booster, and that's kind of it. You're not going to see too many people using this character that often. So all I got to say is, if you have V2 JINBE, try and use him as much as you possibly can, because, there's other people that do have V2 JINBE, they probably want to use him too. So, he's a good character. He's a very good character. I definitely think he deserves tier 1 positioning on my personal tier list if you don't know how they're structured. I do think that that's a pretty fair placement for a character such as JINBE. But that is going to conclude the video, guys. I really hope you guys did enjoy the breakdown and the showcase video of JINBE. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.